Hello and welcome to Breezy Chatter. Today we're going to be talking about the bold and the beautiful. But before we do so, I would like to send a heartfelt thank you once again to all of my subscribers. Thank you for the support, it's deeply appreciated. So now let's get into it. We are going to start with Donna and Katie. They seem to be dining at Il Giardino and they are talking about Quinn and Eric and how Eric is such a loyal man, and they can't believe that Quinn pressured Eric to fire Donna. And Donna didn't do anything wrong. All of these excuses for Eric while they continue to condemn Quinn. Meanwhile, we see Carter in his office, and it looks like he's still pining away for Quinn. This is a woman that he really fell hard for. And who happens to step into his office? Quinn. And they're looking at each other, and you can see the mutual respect. You can see the love. And Quinn just wants Carter to know that she loved him. She genuinely loved him, and they had a real connection. And she just wanted to say sorry because she did go back to her husband. She didn't choose him, but she doesn't want him to think that she was using him. She just wants him to know that although they can't be together, she really does cherish the time that they had. And of course, Carter's upset. His feelings are hurt. He is still trying to get over the loss. And he does ask Quinn how things are going with her and Eric. He said he hears that they're still having some problems. And Quinn is like, really? Who told you? How did you find out? Let me guess. The Logan sisters talking about my marriage. And of course, here comes Katie at the door eavesdropping. And as soon as she hears Quinn talking about her sisters and her, she just lets herself into the office and she wants to set Quinn straight. She wants to let her know that she is looking out for Eric, and they'll continue to do that because all they care about is his happiness. And Quinn said something that was quite interesting. She said, okay, so you think that what I did with Carter was horrible, and you guys have not missed a moment to remind me of the horrible things that I've done. So, okay, it's Carter's turn. Go ahead. Let him know. Let him have it. And of course, she doesn't because she's actually interested in him. And she thinks more of him than she does of Quinn. So she tells Quinn, oh, no, Carter is a good guy, So in other words, I'm not going to make him feel bad the way I'm making you feel bad. Katie has a lot of nerve. If memory serves me, didn't she also betray Bridget? Didn't she have an affair with Nick? She has a lot of nerve to talk about anyone cheating. But anyway, we're going to move on. Next, I want to talk about Thomas and Paris. They were at the apartment talking, and Douglas was there. He's such a cutie pie. And kids are smart. He's not a fool. And I think he's sort of watching the vibes between Thomas and Paris. And he couldn't help but ask, are you guys together? Are you my daddy's girlfriend? And Thomas is blushing and it's so cute. And Paris is, looking like, oh boy. But they do set him straight. They let him know, no, we are just friends. When Thomas gets back to the office, he is shirtless and looking at a picture of Paris. When Zende comes in, then he walks over to the desk and he realizes that Thomas was looking at a picture of his girlfriend. And Zende, of course, he starts singing Paris's praises. She's just a wonderful woman. And, I'm so grateful that she's to have her, and I'm glad she's mine. And Thomas, when are you going to find your new place so that I can have this beautiful woman all to myself? So he's sort of letting Thomas know she's mine, and also letting us know that he is threatened by Thomas. He is clearly threatened. But one thing Thomas did say that, I don't know, it just sort of rubbed me the wrong way. He sort of made a comparison. He sort of compared Paris to Hope. I said, oh no, please don't do this. And I just hope that the writers are not going to create another unrequited love situation with Thomas where he's sort of stalking and sort of obsessing over Paris while she's trying to be with Zende. Please do not turn Thomas back into that raving lunatic that he was when he was obsessing over Hope. I hated that scene. I was so over it when it started, and it lasted a long time. And just please find him a decent woman. Please. Next, I will be talking about Deacon, Brooke, and Hope. They are at the house and they are talking. Deacon is singing Brooke's praises, saying she did a wonderful job raising Hope and that Hope is such a lovely woman and he's so proud of her. And Hope is just eating it up. She is just ready to just give him an opportunity. She wants him to be a part of the family. Hope is so delighted at the idea that her mom, and her dad are in the same room together. Brooke, who is really, she's in a hard spot right now because she knows that her husband, Ridge, is not going to go for this. And she also knows that she wants to please her daughter at any expense. All throughout the years of The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke has fearlessly, ferociously protected Hope. She has been so involved in her marriage with Liam, the ups and downs of Hope and Liam and Steffi. She has threatened Steffi. She has done all kinds of things just to ensure that Hope is okay. Ridge comes into the house and he is shocked to see Deacon standing there. And he's like, what is he doing here? Out you go. Get out of here. And he sort of grabs him. He sort of shoves him, starts shoving him out the door. And Hope is upset, of course. And Brooke, defending her daughter, says to Ridge, take your hands off of him. And this conversation starts where Brooke is trying to explain to Ridge that Hope wants to have a relationship with her father and that she's been denied that because they've kept her away from him. And Ridge is not having it. He said, no way. He said, this guy is not a good guy. I don't want him around the kids. I don't want him around our family. And Deacon, he played his cards perfectly. He said, oh, you know what? I don't want to cause any problems. I'm going to leave. And when he left, Hope was deflated. She was so hurt. And she said that she felt like she should have run after him. And she's not going to give up on her father. She wants to get to know him, and she doesn't care that they don't approve. It's her decision. And she went so far as to say, if you don't accept my decision, or if you can't respect my decision, how about I will pack up my family and we will leave. Hope does say, I don't want to give you an ultimatum, but I'm giving you an ultimatum. It's like, come on, Hope. What do you mean you don't want to give her an ultimatum? You gave her one. It's either my dad stays or my family is out of this house. So Hope gets on the phone and she calls her dad and she tells him that she wants him to come back to the house. When Hope called him and asked him to come to the house, he was at Sheila's place at the hotel room. So he runs out of there and he goes back to the house and she sort of welcomes him to the family, welcomes him home and tells him that she doesn't want him to go anywhere. So it looks like Deacon's in. I guess this Thanksgiving they're going to have a extra place setting for him. That's going to be interesting. I can't wait for the holiday dinner at Eric's house. It's going to be a mess. Ridge is really frustrated, and I get it. But he has raised Hope, and he has made decisions against his own children to benefit Hope and to benefit Brooke. So, I mean, he actually, on some levels, abandoned his kids, or put them to the back burner just to please and protect Hope and Brooke. And he made a lot of sacrifices to be with Brooke and to take care of Hope and raise Hope as one of his children. And now to have Hope say that she wants a relationship with her father, who has brought a lot of grief to everyone's life, it is sort of like a smack in the face to him. And I think he's frustrated, but he may be a little hurt by it as well. Liam walks in, he's back from the business trip, and he's happy to be back. It was only a day, but he's happy to be with his family. And he wants to know, what did he miss? So Brooke says, okay, you've missed a lot. And she left so that they could talk. And Hope sort of tells him that she wants her father in her life. She wants to give him a chance to redeem himself. She thinks that he's a changed man. And Liam, he looks really disappointed because Liam is a people pleaser. He doesn't want to disappoint Hope. He knows that he's going to have to push back a little bit on this one. And when he pushed back and he told her, it's not a good idea, and why does the whole family have to be involved? Get to know your father, but why does it have to involve our children? And Hope pushed back and she said, well, your father, he's no saint. The last stunt he pulled landed you in jail. So why is he given a chance, and why is he allowed access to our children and my father can't get a chance? And she makes an excellent point. And Liam, he sort of doesn't want to go along with it, but I'm getting a sense that he's going to. He's going to go along with it. And Liam made some excellent points. He said, there's a lot of pieces here. It's not just about you. This is going to affect a lot of people. And it's true. Do you think Ridge is going to allow Deacon to be around his grandson, Douglas? What about Thomas? Thomas needs to be clued in on this as well. What are his thoughts on the idea of Deacon being around his son, knowing that Deacon is involved with Sheila? And Sheila tried to take his mother out. So, we have so many pieces here, so many people that are going to be affected by this selfish choice that Hope has made. Let's not forget, Ridge did hire Justin to keep an eye on Deacon. And this is where Deacon is going to go down, because he made it clear that he was no longer involved with Sheila. And I bet you Justin is going to get some evidence or some information that sort of makes Deacon out to be a liar. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what Justin finds on Deacon. And I bet you he's going to find out that Deacon is still involved with Sheila at some capacity. And Jack met with Sheila at Il Giardino, and he wanted to thank her for keeping the secret. He doesn't want that secret to come out because he had an affair on his wife. And not only did he have an affair, he convinced his wife to adopt his child. Jack is not just meeting with Sheila to thank her for keeping the secret, but also meeting to make sure that she continues to keep the secret. Because there's really no reason for him to be interacting with Sheila. But I think he's just there to tell her, thank you, but please keep this going. Do not tell anyone that I am Finn's biological father. And of course, Finn shows up to pick up Steffi for lunch, and Steffi's too busy. She can't go. She has a meeting. So Finn goes to Il Giardino by himself, and Sheila spots him right away while she's sitting with Jack. And she tells Jack, you go and hide if you want, but I'm going to speak to my son. So she went over to Finn, and she's always so happy and excited to see him. And when he saw her, it was like he was seeing a ghost. So they actually sat down. He explained to her that he would be dining alone. So she was happy about that, because then they could maybe sit together and she could catch up, or they could talk about some things. Maybe he could show her a picture of Hayes. So he said only for a couple of seconds, because he had his own motives. He wasn't sitting with Sheila because he wanted to show her pictures of Hayes. He's sitting with Sheila because he wants to know about his father. And the conversation starts up. Finn has to ask. He said, I saw you with Deacon, but is there more to this story? Is Deacon my dad? And she's like, oh, no. No way. No way. He is not your father. So he said, well, who is? I'd like to know. And Steffi had a meeting with Thomas. That meeting was cut short. And Thomas said, why don't you go and meet up with your husband? Why don't you go meet up with Finn and have lunch with him so he doesn't eat alone? Of course, she says, that's a great idea. And she's on her way to Il Giardino. We all know what's going to happen. Steffi is going to go to Il Giardino, and she is going to see her husband sitting there with Sheila, and she's going to lose it. She is going to lose it unless Jack intercepts. Jack is another sinister character. And this is going to get really interesting because he really wants that secret to be kept. And now we have to wonder, what lengths will he go to make sure that no one knows that he is Finn's biological father? Boy, I tell you, this week was intense, super dramatic. I was here for it. I thoroughly enjoyed this week, and I'm looking forward to next week. If you enjoyed my commentary, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and leave some comments. Thank you for your time. Until next time, ta-ta.